So today everyone, we're going to be taking a look at the Blink Video Doorbell. Now this is probably the best value video doorbell that you can buy, so I've bought one so that you can see what my experience is like using this thing. So this video is taking me a little bit of time to do because the Blink Video Doorbell was released at the end of last year and it's only just come out in the UK. And when they announced it, I was super excited and I was going to buy it then, but I couldn't, so I've had to wait till now, but I've now bought it. And this is my experience. So first of all, this doorbell has been made by Blink, and Blink is owned by Amazon. So if you are in the Amazon ecosystem, this is going to benefit you massively because it links in with all of their stuff. Now it's not to be confused with Ring, which is also owned by Amazon. The Ring video doorbells have been around for quite a while. Now I'm not going to talk too much about price because Amazon like to keep their things on offer, so you're going to see this change in price probably quite a lot. But when it is not on offer, it is $50 or £50 in the UK. Now that is very, very good value, and probably one of, if not the cheapest video doorbell considering all of the features that you get. Now to give you the idea of the environment that this is going to be installed in, I currently have a lot of Amazon Alexa devices. I also have a Blink mini camera which can be paired with this as well. So I'm going to give you a fairly decent idea of what this is like in an ecosystem that it fits into. Obviously, hopefully I'll still give you an idea of what this is like outside of those ecosystems too. But first of all, let's open this thing up and see what we've got in the box. So first of all, we have the box, and there is this sort of box inside the box here. Once we open it up, we can see the video doorbell and all its packaging, and there we have some batteries to be able to power this. It's not rechargeable, it's got two AA's. So here's the doorbell. It looks pretty smart, pretty nice, the weight's good, and then you've got a little back plate here to attach to the wall so we can then quickly take the thing off and on. You've got a little instruction manual, bit of information there, some sort of screws and bits to get it attached to the wall that you're attaching it to, and you've got some things to help you wire in the doorbell. And then you also have this little mounting plate. It's sort of like a guide to be able to screw holes in the wall, and then you've got that little tool to be able to use that to take off the doorbell. Ultimately, I really like the design. I thought it was going to be a lot smaller than it actually is, but I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing. Now obviously we have the camera at the top, and we have the LED ring at the bottom with the bell on it, and the bell has a nice click, which means you know that you've pressed it. There's nothing more annoying than pressing someone's doorbell and not knowing whether it's actually rung. So I'm glad that this not only gives you that physical feedback, it lights up and it actually plays a doorbell chime for you. Now speaking of the chime, there are a few options of what you can do. First of all, you can actually wire this doorbell or have it battery powered, and we'll get more onto that later. But if you have this doorbell wired, you can wire it to an existing physical doorbell chime that you have inside your house. If you don't have this wired, you have a few options. Obviously, it's going to be giving you notifications on your phone if someone rings the doorbell. You can also make it give you notifications if it just detects motion. And now, if you are already in the Blink or Alexa ecosystems, or both, you can have it to chime those devices. So for example, I have a Blink mini camera in my office, and if someone rings the doorbell, it's going to chime inside my office from that camera. But you can also set it up with Alexa, so that means you can get it to chime an Echo Dot, you can get it to chime an Echo Show.
Someone is at the front door.
And if you have this wired or have the sync module, you can even get it to provide a live feed to those devices if they have a screen. So if you have this paired with Alexa, you can actually change this so that the doorbell chime has different options coming through your Echo devices. But for example, if it's approaching the holidays, you can change it to have this epic Christmas theme.
Someone is at the front door.
Or, if you don't like having people arrive at your house, you can change it to this. Now, if you don't have this wired and don't have that sync module, there are going to be some features which are slightly limited, and I will get onto those. But going back to our Alexa compatibility, what is good is that you can set up your Blink doorbell to set off routines. So for example, if someone presses the doorbell, you can use that as a trigger to do things like turn the lights on. So for example, if you don't have lights in a particular room, you can get it to switch on the lights in the hallway, and you know, oh, someone must be at the door. door. Now ultimately I've just described how a normal doorbell would work, nothing particularly impressive yet. But why would you have a video doorbell? Well, the point is for the video. Now on the Blink mini camera we have a 1080p HD camera, and you can get this to record footage when someone presses the camera or even when it just detects motion. Now there are a couple of caveats to that. If you've had Blink products in the past, you'll be grandfathered in to have some free cloud storage. However, that isn't going to be for everyone, and actually they're changing it to a subscription model. So that means you're going to have a Blink subscription in order to use free cloud storage. That isn't our only option, however. So if you get something called the Sync Module 2, you can get storage locally so that this will automatically stream to that, and it will open up a couple of other features. Now these other features are like live video chat. So for example, you can pull up the live feed from your camera and be able to see what's happening outside the front of your house, whether or not someone is there. Now that's great if you have this module or if you have it wired in, that will work. If you don't have that and you're doing what I'm doing, where you don't have this module and you don't have this wired in, you're just using the batteries, you do lose that feature if you are trying to save money. Now eventually I think I probably will get the sync module because I have the Blink mini camera and it all sort of links in together and it opens up those extra features, but you are going to have to be paying more. So if you're just running on a battery and you don't have this module, you can still do two-way communication and audio, but only from someone pressing the doorbell. When someone triggers the doorbell will then connect to your Wi-Fi and then open up that chat. You cannot contact the doorbell directly without either it being wired in or having the sync module. It's a little bit annoying, but it does make sense because it does save battery. Now in theory, battery on this should last up to 2 years. Obviously if you have things like the motion sensing turned on and all the other sort of extra features that you can have, that battery isn't going to last as long, but 2 years is actually very good, especially considering it's just two AA batteries on this. And some people might be annoyed that you can't have a rechargeable battery on it, but actually I think it's better. So once you have this thing installed and up and you want to change the batteries, all you have to do is take it off, take the old batteries out and put new batteries in. If you had to recharge it, there's going to be a significant amount of time where there's no doorbell on the front of your house, and that's going to be really annoying. So the fact that you can just take it off, put the new batteries in and put it back, perfect. So there are a couple of things I think is worth testing with this. First of all is testing the camera quality. So I'm going to show you a couple of clips recorded from the doorbell from during the day and during the night so you can see what this is like. And the other thing I think is worth testing is because this isn't necessarily being used with a physical chime, it's worth knowing how long does it take for this to notify your other devices like your phone or your Amazon Alexa devices that someone is at the front door. The last thing you want is someone to press the doorbell and then just to be stood there waiting, doing nothing. So that is exactly what I did. Now I think the camera quality is fairly decent and it can make out shapes. It's not the best footage and you're going to be using it as a camera where you might record something, but for security reasons it does the job. Now going in with the night mode, you do have to be a little bit savvy with the infrared quality. So for example, I put the infrared sensitivity up very high because when you were looking far away you couldn't see much, but as soon as someone came to the front door their face was completely washed out. So I had to end up turning that sensitivity down, which means it's harder to see things further away, but when someone's at the door you can actually see who was at the door. Now one of the features that isn't necessarily turned on from the start, but it's something that people might be interested in, is the fact that this does have motion sensitivity. So you can detect if something happens outside the front of your house and record it, whether it be someone trying to break in or whether it be a fox destroying your bins. It's important to know if these things happen. And what is also good is that you can set up motion zones, and that means if there are particular places where there's going to be motion and you don't want it to record motion there, for example cars driving past on the road, then you can blank those zones out to make it that place isn't recording, and then you can make it so it's just recording places that will only be active if someone is on your property. So guys, I've got to say I'm very impressed with the Blink mini doorbell. It suits me perfectly. I mean, I'm in the ecosystem. So tell me what you think. Do you think this is going to be the right choice for you? And guys, if I've missed anything and you think it's worth sharing for other people watching this video, stick them in the comments below. But other than that guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Woo!